Good afternoon. It's Sunday. Time 5 o'clock, almost a little after 5 on Sunday afternoon. This is Crocker's Crazy Living. Tonight I'm going to make some easy chocolate brownies. This is a recipe that's meant for 5 ingredients. I'm making it 6 ingredients because I'm going to add walnuts to it. So we're going to get started. Here in my double boiler, I have 8 ounces of butter. This is my homemade butter. And I need 16 ounces of chocolate chips. So I'm going to weigh my chocolate chips. I'll be right back. Okay, here is 16 ounces of chocolate chips. Because I'm making a double recipe. I weighed them out. I got my double boiler going here. I'm going to turn my water down because it does not need to be boiling. It just needs to be simmering. I saw this recipe on the internet and I shared it, and now of course I gotta make it. I'm making the double because I'm gonna keep half of it here for me and my husband or whoever wants some, and I'm taking the other half to work to share with my bestie. So you just want to get this all melted together, and then you want it to cool down. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to go ahead and let this melt, and I'll be back when I'm ready to do phase 2. See you soon. Okay, I had to turn my water way down to 3, maybe down to 2. It's just about done. You just want your chocolate nice and smooth, no lumps. I used chocolate morsels, of course. I didn't use, you can use bar chocolate if you want, but I just used my morsels that I had, my semi-sweet morsels. So you just want to get that melted down well, no lumps with your butter. Then I'm going to just set it aside, turn my stove off, and I'm going to set it aside and just let it cool. And I'll bring you over here, and then we'll do the next step, which is blending the sugar and the eggs together in your mixing bowl. Put my scale away. I put this aside where I can see it, but all right, let me get my beater for my mixer. And we're going to blend 6 eggs and 2 cups of sugar. You just need your white granulated sugar. I will put the recipe in the comment section for one batch, and then you guys can multiply it if you want to make it like I'm making a double batch. So 1 cup of sugar. Still got those hard clumps in them. My sugar must have got wet at some point, because all of a sudden I got these really hard chunks of sugar. in my container. I don't know what happened. Something must have got wet. That's all I can say. Something must have got wet. All right, 2 cups. I should have sifted it. That way I would have got those chunks out of there, but I didn't think it was that bad. Still think there's chunks in there. It's like rock sugar. Rock candy. I don't feel any more. Don't worry, my hands are very clean. Alright, I don't think I feel any more. Every time I say that, I find a couple more. I might have to sift out the rest of that sugar, so I have to go through this every time. Alright, then we're going to get 6 eggs. And I'm going to crack them into a separate bowl just to make sure they're okay. I always crack my eggs in a separate bowl just to make sure. Let me get rid of this stuff here. Four, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to mix our eggs. You want to mix your eggs and your sugar until it's at ribbon stage, which means when you pick up the beater, it flows off the beater in like a ribbon. A bit longer. Nope. See how that kind of flows off in a ribbon? Let me just a little longer. The recipe doesn't really tell you how long that takes. She just says till it flows off the beater in a ribbon. I would say that's kind of like a ribbon. It's like a steady stream. Well, maybe a little longer. There, that's better. You want it to where it kind of just ribbons. Yeah, that's kind of ribboning off. It's not pouring in a straight line anymore. Just another minute or two. Thank you. There. That's definitely... Can you see how that ribbons? It's kind of hard to see it on camera. But it kind of ribbons. I think I need another minute. I know this is the boring part, but if the recipe doesn't really tell you how many minutes, it might have said 4 to 6 minutes for this stage. You don't want it too thick, but if it says you need it like a ribbon, there, that's perfect. Can you? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see how that ribbons off? Ribbon kind of ribbons in a straight All right. So now we're gonna add our chocolate and our salt. We need 1 teaspoon of salt. Sounds like a lot of salt, but it's really not. I have to dry my spoons because I just washed them. Alright, so we're going to do a teaspoon of salt. Thank you. I was going to take it out, but I figured I'd do it after I was done. Now we're going to add our chocolate mixture to our egg mixture. Sorry, my hand's probably in the way. I can't do this left-handed. I mean, I can't put it in any, get it in my bowl any other way. Ugh, making a mess. I should have named my page the Messy Chef. I made a big chocolate mess right there. All right, I'm gonna get that mixed up. Then you add your flour. So it's going to be 2 cups of flour, and it says to stir it in. So I'm going to take my beater off, and I'm going to hand stir it because you don't want to overmix it. It says try not to overmix. So I'm going to measure out 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to hand mix it. If I like this recipe, I may never buy brownie mix again. I'm going to get a spoon. I'll just use my spatula. So I'm just going to hand do this because it says just to mix it until you see no more streaks of flour. And then it says try not to overmix it. Even when you make brownies from a mix, it says to, stir it for like 50 strokes or something. But I'm going to do it the way the recipe says. It doesn't say to mix it in with your mixer. It says to mix it in by hand till you see no more streaks of flour. Well, I've got blobs of flour in here. I'm going to break them up. Yeah, see how that flour went to the bottom of the bowl, just like it likes to do, It's down there in the bottom. Just about there. I still see flour flying around in there. This might have been better maybe if I would have transferred the mix to a different type of bowl to mix the flour in. All right, so now I'm going to back this up because this is a 5 ingredient. So you had your butter, your chocolate, your eggs, your sugar, your flour is 5. She said it was 5-ish. So she added the salt, and I'm turning it into 6 ingredients because I'm adding some chopped walnuts. Adding chopped walnuts. So I'm going to get a board and a sharp knife. Because my walnuts I had vacuum sealed them and stuck them in the freezer for storage, and they are not chopped. They're like halves and pieces. And I want chopped. Yeah, these are halves. So I'm just going to take a handful like that and then chop them up. toasting them first. I'm just chopping them and sticking them in there. I probably should have toasted them because they probably would taste better. I think that's good enough. I don't want them chopped too fine, but I don't want huge chunks in them either. Alright, so I'm just going to pour these in there. There's another blob of flour. I got my oven set at 350. I like to keep my walnuts and my pecans in my freezer to keep them fresher in a vacuum sealed bag. This extra stir will ensure that my flour is incorporated as well. All right, now she says to put it in an 8-inch greased 8-inch pan, but because I'm making a double, I'm using my sheet pan and a piece of parchment paper. Brownies don't tend to overflow. It's a type of batter that you can fill your pan right to the top. They puff up, but then when they come out, they flatten out. So now a standard batch, she said, takes 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to go 30 minutes because I'm probably going to need a longer time. Most likely it's going to be a longer time. I think a standard cake mix is like 35 to 40 minutes. I don't know. Something like that. It's not much of a difference. So I'm just going to spread this out. Let me get a different spatula. These rubber spatulas don't work well for this job because I need to be able to get the batter in the corner without everything sliding around. My offset spatula seems to work well for everything. Yeah, see, I can spread that right to the corners. Right to the edge, corners of the pan. This looks really good already. There's some flour there. to smooth this out as best as I can. Sometimes it's not the easiest job. Spread this out. These are not gluten-free because we use regular flour, but I would imagine you could adapt the same recipe with gluten-free flour. I have to try it out, test it. All right, I think that's pretty good. Parchment paper will help me be able to get the brownies off the pan once they're cooled in order to cut them. You don't really want to slide around. All right, I'm going to put this in the 350 oven for 30 minutes and I'll come back and show you the finished results. Okay, it's been 35 minutes. My brownies they did puff up quite a bit, but it wouldn't have overflowed, so it didn't overflow. So upon testing them, they look like they're done, cracking on the top. They're just a little bit gooey, but you know, a lot of people like their brownies like that, a little gooey, not much. So we're gonna let these cool, and then I'll cut one and we'll test them in a little bit. Okay, here are our brownies. They took, I don't know if I mentioned just a minute ago, they did take 35 minutes. They were nice and puffed up. Now they're flattened down a little bit. I am going to cut, they're still really, really hot, so I shouldn't even be cutting them right now. Yeah, because they're so hot. Oh, but I want to taste one. I'm going to let them cool the rest of the way because I don't want them falling apart. Here's a corner. That's what it looks like. Looks like a good brownie, yeah. Tastes delicious. Oh, it's so hot. But yeah, it's nice. It's going to be the perfect ones. They're going to be in the middle. I could eat this with a cup of milk. Nothing better than a hot brownie and an ice cold glass of milk.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. It tastes really good. When you're baking them, they almost smell better than a chocolate cake. I don't know why brownies smell better than anything when they're baking, but they just do. Nice and fudgy inside. They're hot. Okay. If you have not had a chance to subscribe to my page and you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Ring the bell. It'll notify you when I have another video. And share me with your friends. I'd appreciate that. I will put the ingredients in the comment section. If you have any questions or comments, please leave me a note and I will do my best to get back with you on those questions or comments. I'll do my best to answer. All right, that's it for the brownies. Really good. They're super fudgy and they were easy to do. So have a great night. I'll see you next time on Crackers Crazy Living. Bye.